second guessing yourself. You know, sometimes you get it in your head that things are done a certain way and you do them a certain way for so long, you don't think maybe there's a better way. Sometimes you don't trust yourself to find a better way. Give you an example. I've been doing this yard for several years now, and it's one of the only properties, it's probably actually the only property that I did that had a large side entry double gate that I was able to get my mower through, but I wasn't doing that. I was push mowing the backyard, even though this gate was here. And the reason for this, it wasn't because the client wanted it push mowed. The client didn't care, but the issue was the guy had gravel filled back there, little pea gravel and whatnot, little rocks. And I have found in my experience that mowers, zero-turn mowers, do not go well over pure gravel. You know, the tires get stuck, they start to sink into the gravel. You know, you start to spin kind of like this, and then you get stuck. Eventually you get stuck because, you know, zero-turns hate that type of condition. Zero-turns hate gravel, moisture, anything like that. And stand-ons, you know, I'm thinking I can't risk running my mower through here. I cannot get my mower back here ever, because I'll get stuck in this gravel walkway to the backyard, and then I'll have a bad time, you know. So for years I push mowed this backyard, and one time, so the client sold the house, and the new owners, they called me up out of the blue. The guy texted me up out of the blue, hey, I need you to cut this yard, give me a price, whatever, we just bought this house a few months ago, such and such. And so I'm talking to him, I said, oh, when was the last time the property was serviced? And he goes, the last time you serviced it. And I was like, oh Lord, because this was like June, I guess, May or June, and this property I had serviced this property previously in October. So it's been October through June, this property has not been touched. And I showed up, and it was bad. It was very bad. It was overgrown. There were weeds everywhere. There were leaves everywhere because it hadn't been cleaned up in the fall, and it was a nightmare. It was nasty. And I was thinking to myself, like, I can't. It's going to take me over an hour probably to push mow all this crap in the backyard. Even though, you know, even if I go home and get the 30, I had the battery powered 25 with me at the time, but I'm like, even if I go home and get my 30, it's still going to take me an hour probably to cut up all this and mulch all these up. And if I bag all these up, I got to have bags. I got to deal with trash bags to remove all the leaves and everything. And it's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be an absolute nightmare. And then I got to thinking, oh man, like I was upset. Like, man, I wish I could get my stander in the back here. You know, he's got a big gate, but I'm going to get stuck in this gravel walkway and everything, and it's going to be terrible. And then it hit me. I have an Exmark Vantage. I have a mower that literally, not only is it a stand-on mower, but literally it can transform itself into a hydro-powered walk-behind if necessary. This is one of the only mowers you can buy that is a fully functional walk-behind as well as a stand-on because of that platform. That platform can fold up out of the way, and you have, you know, access not just for moving the machine, but you can mow with that machine in platform or in walk-behind configuration. So, and of course, getting through places like a walk-behind, with a stand-on, your weight is on the platform, so the machine has to pull your extra weight in addition to the weight of the machine. So instead of pulling like 800 pounds through that gravel, it has to pull 1,000 pounds or so, because I weigh close to 200. I'm around 200 pounds, 180, 190, something like that. So I'm thinking, wait a minute, I gotta walk behind. I'll just fold up the platform and I'll walk this mower through that gravel. And that's exactly what I did. And let me tell you, it worked. It worked. My goodness, I could not believe it. I said, I've been push mowing this stupid backyard all this time. I could have just walked behind this mower to get it through the gravel, And then, you know, I would have been able to cut this backyard in a fraction of the time. And all it took was that one time to sit there and say, okay, I've got to take this chance. I've got to, you know, make the initiative. What else, you know, what's the worst that can happen? What can it hurt? I don't have anything else to lose. I've got to get this done now. And so I did it. And granted, you know, the wheels did get kind of stuck a little bit in the gravel at a few spots, but I was able to work it, you know, in and out, and work it to where I was able to get the machine in and out of the backyard relatively easily. And to do that cleanup, it made that cleanup that time doable. It made it to where I was able to clean that property up in a reasonable amount of time with the machine the main machine that I'm using. And so from then on out, I said, there's no reason to push mow this property anymore. I'm just going to drive this mower through this gravel with the platform folded up, and I'm going to walk behind the mower, and, you know, that's how it's going to be done. And this, you know, I could only do this if I had this exact type of mower. The Vantage or the Grandstand, you know, the Toro Grandstand's the same type of mower. It got that fold-up platform. It's just one of those times where you have to take advantage of what you have and your equipment, and know that certain styles are unique for certain applications. Certain machines are unique for certain applications. And really, you know, if you're approached with a situation that you're thinking there's only one way to do it, sometimes there's multiple ways to do it. And I mean, what do you have to lose? Take a chance, learn something new, figure out a new, better way to do things, and it can save you time, and in the long run, save you a lot of money. So, yeah, that's something I wanted to touch on today after thinking about it, because I did that property again today, and I've been walking that walk behind through it the last couple of months, and I'm just really happy with how it's working out. And so yeah, that's my little inspirational talk for this week. Hope everybody else is doing good. I'll see you on the next one. There's my church property. We're going over there in a few days.